So this video will consist about our course assignment IHS 124 where we will be explaining about civil construction on the road, where we'll be explaining the hierarchy, the equipment that are being used, and the safety precautions that have been set on the road, and the explanation to our new recruited SSS Site Safety Supervisor. Yes. So the safety precaution that have been set in our construction site, aka road building, is the signage, the street signage, the speed limiter signage, where most of the cars will go through here, will abide the signage below 40 km per hour. So this is the narrow road signage that has been set here in our construction site also. So this is one of the machineries that are being used while making the road. This is what we call a drum roller, where it drums or lines up all of the tars in the road to become one single flat line. So this is one of others machineries that are being used. This is what we call a tractor excavator, where we excavate the old roads and we exchange it and we dump it in a selected place, and we use the other machineries to make the new road.
There are several hazards associated with road construction. First, construction zone typically see a lot of heavy construction vehicle moving around, which can be very dangerous if drivers and workers are not paying attention. This vehicle can suddenly emerge from behind barriers, and their driver may unexpectedly slow down or stop in the middle of the road. Lastly, construction zones have sign, cone and other barriers that are put up to guide traffic and protect workers. It's important for drivers to obey this signal and not attempt to go around them, as they are intended to keep everyone safe. Overall, it is essential for anyone driving or walking through a construction zone to be cautious, alert and aware of the hazard to stay safe. There are 5 work zone safety. First, have a safety plan. Second is control traffic. Third is create separate work areas. Fourth, wear proper safety equipment. And last but not least is make sure yourself visible. Injuries from moving heavy machinery. The construction site is an ever-changing environment with material constantly being moved around, including heavy machinery moving, swinging, rotating, and so on. Collision with such heavy machinery or with the load they carry can result in injury to the worker involved. Second, slip and trip. Slip and trip are yet another highly common construction site hazard. Every year, several thousand workers are injured because of a slip and trip accident. This is highly common because of the presence of uneven terrain, various obstacles, cable and slippery floor. Then is harmful fine dust and asbestos. Construction sites are known to have harmful airborne contaminants because of certain operational equipment and activities. However, construction site dust is not like regular dust. They can contain hazardous material that can aggravate asthma and lead to conditions like obstructive pulmonary disease and silicosis. Additionally, the inhalation of asbestos, which are harmful fibres, can lead to lung cancer and pleural thickening. Third, we have hand-arm vibration syndrome. Hand-arm vibration syndrome is a permanent, debilitating condition that affects the nerve, joint, and blood vessel. Typically, this syndrome affects workers who have handled vibratory power tools and equipment to work the ground. What is construction risk assessment? Risk assessment involves the process of identifying, analyzing, and assessing risks that may be involved in a construction project. There are many potential hazards present in a construction project, which make recognizing them and evaluating their risk factor all the more important. Why is risk assessment important in construction? Construction risk assessment is important for a number of reasons, the most prominent being that by identifying potential risks, you can take the proper step to prevent them from happening. And if a previously identified risk does end up occurring, knowing what to do ahead of time can better prepare you and your team for minimizing its impact. It also helps with creating a culture of safety in construction, which can ultimately save life. When should risk assessment be conducted? Ideally, a construction risk assessment should be conducted at the beginning of a construction project, before work begins. This allows you to take preventative measures beforehand. However, a risk assessment should also be a continuous process throughout the project. How to conduct a risk assessment for construction project? First, we can identify the hazard. Second, assess the risk. Third, develop control. Last but not least, we can monitor and review.
Now we can go further with the statutory regulation where we follow the Malaysian Law of Safety and Health, OSHA 1994, Act 514 under the Uses of Standard of Exposure of Chemical Hazardous to Health, USAC Regulation 2000 Part 5, where action to control the exposure. Further, we can go to the notification of accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, and occupational disease, NADOPOD, Regulation 2004. All parts must be abide. These control measures must be supervised by the site safety supervisor and the project manager to ensure the safety on site. Machinery controls measures are set according to Factories and Machinery Act 1967 of Building Operation and Works of Engineering Construction, BOAC. Safety Regulation 1986, where the regulation must be abide and followed. Highlight information must be placed at every machinery to indicate other hazards that can occur or show up when handling or be close to the machine, such as a drum roller. In this presentation, here is an example of a highlight form that has been issued by the safety engineer at site. Further up, safety work practices are followed or aligned by the Code of Practices set by the Department of Occupational Safety and Health, DOSH, Malaysia, under the Ministry of Human Resources 2001. The things that are permitted for workers to buy is the permit to work is mandatory, where all workers who are liable and fitted to use heavy machineries with supervision, their permit must be shown or be scanned by the liaison officer to ensure the safety of progress on road construction.